Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Nesto with Nerdmoto, and today we had some new parts come in, so let's go ahead and put them on the bike. Alrighty, guys, the first thing that we have is some new headlights, some new turn signal lights, LEDs from Hogwarts, or they're supposed to be anyway. It's just the shipping receipt. And there they are. Now these are the Hogwarts LED turn signals. I believe I got them with the black caps. So let's go open the next thing. Alright, so this next one is one of the bigger items that I've been meaning to do, especially since I want to be doing more long distance travel. So these are definitely going to come in handy. Now, if you can't tell what these are yet, they are, in fact, saddlebags. These saddlebags are from Viking Leather Saddlebags. It's just the hardware box. And I don't know if you can see them in the packaging. Alrighty, guys, we got it all unpacked. This box contains all your mounting gear. That's all the mounting hardware. This is the instructions. More instructions, just telling you essentially what tools you're going to need. Bag of bolts and spacers. More bolts. More instructions. And then this is just the license or the turn signal relocation kit that comes with the Viking bags. You may or may not need it. It really just depends on your bike. These are all the pieces that they include with the relocation kit. And then the bags themselves are key lockable, and you can set them up to be throw-overs, you can set them up to be hard bags. So the way that you set them up to be hard bags, one second, I'm going to get this open and then I'll tell you guys more. Alright, so the way that you set them up to be hard bags, I'll move this little flap out of the way. You move the flap out of the way, then you're going to want to unscrew these bolts. This is if you're going to hard mount them. If you're going to soft mount them, you can leave them as they're as is. This just takes off the roller. Hands on the back. Come back to the outside. It comes right off. Just like that. It is a throw over by using Velcro too, so just keep that in mind. Alright, we are going to get the seat and the Torque mini saddlebags off, and then we'll catch up with you guys when we're getting ready to start fitting them and getting them out there. Alrighty, guys, so this is actually going to be the turn signal relocation video that goes along with my Viking Leather Saddlebag mounting video. So if you guys don't know how to do a turn signal relocation, I'm going to show you how. So, just follow along. Alrighty, guys, so the first thing that you're going to do is take off your tail light cover on your 2022 Lowrider S. That's secured with 2 Phillips head screws on each side. Once you get that off, it comes right off, and there is a plug that is attached to the light that goes right there, and a plug that you are going to push through the frame. Should be able to see it right there. It pushed through the frame pretty well. They gave it a big, nice hole. Make sure before you start this that you disconnect your tail lights and your turn signal lights from the battery up front, okay? This is going to be your tail light connector. These are going to be your turn signal light connectors. A good rule of thumb is to take a picture or take a couple photos of how everything looks before you start, so that way you know how to put it back once you're done. Once you've gotten that rear tail light off, you're going to go ahead and remove the side bolts from these frame pieces, and there's going to be an under pad or a back frame plate. It'll look like this. Goes right under there and clips in. You're going to want to remove that too. There's going to be 2 of them. Now once you get these bolts out, you're going to remove the fender. Now to remove the fender, there are going to be additional bolts on the inside of the fender. Right there. And right there. I believe it's a T45. Actually, I know it's a T45 because I struggled to find it. Now, the reason you need to remove the fender is so that you could get to the cables for the taillights. That's what we're relocating after all. So you're going to obviously undo this screw and then pull the taillight cord that you already disconnected through there. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. I will get back with you guys once we've done it. Ta-da! It's magic. And for that screw that's right there, or right here, if it'll focus. For this screw right here, that's going to be a T40. Alrighty guys, now that we got both of our lights removed from the frame, we are going to remove a portion of this license plate bracket because the tail light relocation kit is actually going to go attach this. It's going to go like right there, except behind it, and then your tail lights will come up here. Alright, let's get to it. Alright guys, the first thing that we're going to do to remove this bracket is take off this nut first. And that is a 7/16 nut. See if you guys can see that clearly. 7/16. There it is. Set it to the side so we don't lose it. Actual nut. The actual bolt. Then I just keep them together so that way I don't lose any of the pieces. Get that little slide piece out. And then next, we're going to take care of these screws down here. Now these 3 nuts correspond to the screws that go to the license plate bracket. So we're going to go ahead and take those off. Alrighty guys, we're back. So once you get that license plate bracket off the fender, you're actually going to take the relocation kit and attach it to the OEM license plate bracket. Now the way this is going to work, you're going to have some screws, and then I just used the OEM screws again to put the light back on, attached to this bracket. I still have to snug them down because I left them loose, so that way I could get the fitment. Now the instructions that this came with says that if you do not have a 4th hole, which these 22 Lowrider S's do not, the instructions that the relocation kit came with said that if you do not have a 4th hole, then you should drill a 4th hole that is big enough, excuse me, that is big enough to fit the electronic cables through the fender. I'm not going to do that. What I did is I'm running the cable back through this fender piece, making sure that it avoids the hole so it doesn't block the bolt holes. And then, as you can see, it's a little stretched, but works. Now we're going to turn the bike on and make sure that the lights still work. Alrighty guys, so let's check and see if the lights still work. Alright, so the brake light definitely still works, I just haven't screwed it on yet. Let's turn on the turn signal. Yep. Yep. Don't do what I did and freak out thinking that the rear turn signals are supposed to be monofilament and they're both supposed to be on. Like while it's running, they're not. They're not dual filament, meaning they're not supposed to be running and like your brake light. Your brake light is your tail light. And then these ones are just your turn signals. And I know that I shouldn't be using monofilaments. I am going to get a set of LEDs for this shortly. Alright guys, but just as a quick review for that taillight relocation, make sure that you disconnect the battery once you've removed your seat. You're going to take your fender off, pull your cords out, your cables out from the light housings once you've unscrewed everything. And then you're going to put together that license plate assembly for the relocation, so that way you have plenty of room for your saddlebags now. Alrighty guys, so if your holes that come with the saddlebag don't match up, you don't need to worry about it, because these are actually meant to be drilled into. They only come with one set of holes, so there's a hole right here, a hole right here, and then I'm using the stock hole right here. And then you drill out the bottom hole with a drill. So I'm going to mark this, drill it, and then get the first one mounted up, and then we will do the other side. Alrighty guys, now that we got it mounted, as you can see it's pretty sturdy. The whole bike is shaking with it. Now that we got it mounted, we're going to go ahead and repeat the process and do it on the other side. I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's all done. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to show you the whole process. As you can see, I already drilled my pilot hole because, again, my bike does not match up with the stock holes, but that's okay because this material is supposed to be drilled through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab, they call them fat brackets. We're going to grab our fat brackets and mark those where we want them, so that way we can drill the secondary holes. So we're just going to line this up. Alrighty guys, so it's actually the next day. I apologize. My phone ran out of, like, I guess battery storage space, but I did end up getting everything else done. I got the rest of the holes drilled and I mounted everything up. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what the final product looks like and let you know what I'm thinking. And then I still want to wait for the Loctite to cure, because I put Loctite on all of those frame screws, all of the screws that go to the saddlebag to hold it in place, everything, just to be safe. You know what I mean? But we'll do a review on how I think the saddlebags feel on the bike when we're riding a little bit later. But for right now, let me show you the final product. So I am pretty happy with it. They do feel like really secure on the bike. This is the second time I've ever installed Viking Leather Saddlebags on any bike ever, and the first time I did it, I had to tighten it down multiple times. Maybe that's just because it was my first time installing anything, but this time came out a lot better. As you guys can see, I had to do a turn signal relocation. I just reran, instead of drilling another hole through the frame or drilling any holes through the frame, I reran the cabling through under here, back under the seat, and it worked out perfectly. The turn signals work, everything works. It came out great. Now in terms of space, I have, like, I don't know, 2-3 times more space than I do on the mini Torque saddlebags that I had. Don't get me wrong, I love the mini Torque saddlebags that I had, but I am planning on doing some longer distance riding. So, alright guys, I hope you found the video helpful. If you watched the entire video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps out the channel. It's completely free, and it helps me know to make more content like this. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
but my appetite don't leave me here.